They come from all walks of life to compete. Never settling, continuously pushing the limits of RC racing. These elite drivers have all won their fair amount of accolades. They've all got skill. They've all got trophies. Now, they've set their sights on something they all want even more: some cold, hard cash. Here at the Mid-America Outdoors Complex, in the heart of America, over 40 drivers compete in a new format, on a brand new track, for the chance to take home some cool new hardware. And with $30,000 on the line, these RC racers will have more than just bragging rights on their competition. Established veterans, newcomers with dreams, families from all over the country have come to kick up some dirt, and we're here to bring you all the action. From Jay, Oklahoma, this is RC Racing at Visions Off-Road, presented by A-Main Hobbies. And we welcome you back here to Mid-America Outdoors in Jay, Oklahoma. Ken Stout and Mike Garrison here to call the action for you. Round number 2. Scotty Ernst has been busy down there on pit road, catching up with all the drivers. I saw him also doing some on-camera stuff as well for the MAV TV crew that is here on site. So looking forward to see that as they put together this show. Of course, the bulk of it will consist of the 3A mains that will happen tomorrow for the Invitational class. But one round under our belt here, Mike, and 2 more rounds to go in terms of qualifying here today.
Yeah, we got another exciting round lined up here for Open Nitro Buggy. These guys getting on the track, getting set to fight their way for another round here. Hopefully take for TQ. We saw Felong win in round 1. He took the round 1 TQ, $1,000 in his pocket, and he moved up to the invite class. Same's going to happen here in round 2. Obviously now Fee is out, so that's one less competitor they got to deal with. We'll see who can do it here in this one. In this heat for round 1, it was Graham Hill. We'll see if he can do it again here in round number 2.
Yeah, I was just going to allude to the same thing, that Graham Hill did have a great run there in that first heat. We'll see how things shake out here in this second round. Unfortunately for Fee, he did not have a good run in that invitational qualifier, and clearly some sort of issue. Only got 1 lap underneath his belt, so we wish him a lot more luck going into that second round of qualifying with that particular division. We go back to a 10-minute. This is a time-based qualifier, so it will not be a lapped race like we just saw with the Invitational. So we'll go back to a 10-minute qualifier here for our Open Nitro Buggy category. And then, of course, when we get to the electrics, it'll be a little bit less at 8 minutes, and the clock should start here in just about 10 seconds.
Yeah, these drivers all ready to go here. Another one to keep an eye out for is going to be, obviously, Katie Roxbury. She's out there running the Techno RC cars. She finished, I do believe, 3rd last round out. And we'll see what she can do here in this one. Of course, Mike Lesko, Blake Everett, Scott Brewer, Graham Hill, Robert Chapman, Will Walker, Billy Womack, and Dennis Remington, as these drivers now getting their way on the clock here for this one. We'll see who comes out on top. Again, it was Graham Hill, the Techno RC driver mechanic for Jared Tebow, taking the win in round 1. Can he do it again in round 2 for this heat? I believe that blue and white there, I think that is Graham Hill we're following here.
Already big tumble right there. You were talking about Trevor Michaelesco. Also had a really good showing there. Was at the top of the charts there for a pretty good while. See if Graham can put one back together here. And, of course, the track conditions, I would say, a good bit different now than what they saw first thing out there this morning.
And, Ken, we just watched them on that break. I mean, less than 5 minutes ago, they watered down the track, and that water is gone. That is, the sun is up, the heat is on, and it is only getting hotter here in Jay, Oklahoma, and the track is soaking up the water as fast as they can put it down. So, obviously, the track crew has their hands full.
And you can see the car there as it landed as well and bounced back up off the ground. So, something they'll want to keep an eye on if it was just that particular landing or if it's something they want to adjust damper-wise after this particular session. Get a lot of speed and really sail it up right here. And you can see that hop right there where it comes back off the ground. And whenever you see the ones that are set up properly, they just squat and they're right back on the throttle. But that's a loss of time.
Well, look at the running order here in this one. 4 laps in. Katie Roxbury going to be out front. She is leading the way here in this one with a 27 and a 10:10 pace. So Katie, also the girlfriend to Jared Wiggins in the invite class, and his pit girl as well. I believe in the invite, we figured out that the 2 girls that are pitting for their better halves, Katie and Audie Masted, they both had the fastest pit stops.
Yeah, in the 5-second range, right? I mean, very impressive for sure on their game. Katie Roxbury right there. Brittany's laughing away. Is she making fun of me already?
Katie right now putting in some good laps here in this one. Yeah, she is leading the way. 27 to 10:07. Only 7 seconds off a 28-lap run here for Katie. Driving the Techno RC buggy up and over the center section. Oh! Trouble there. Lands back on her wheels. Robert Chapman now. Michael Esco up into that number 2 spot.
So still a lot of time left in this one. Only 3 minutes consumed so far, so the better part of 7 minutes yet to go.
Yeah, Graham Hill now in that number 3 spot. We saw Graham in round 1. Take an instant replay here. Take a look as she comes up and over this double, comes up a little short.
They got back on the throttle there, picked the front end up. These things make so much power, especially when they are hooked up.
And there goes Katie. Back around another lap in the books here in this one. A 23.5 that last time by the line. Still on a 27-10-17 pace right now. Nicolesco in that number 2 spot. Robert Chapman in the 3. Blake Everett in the 4. Graham Hill drops to the 5. Oh, a little trouble there. Katie doing a good job of working her way in and out of lap traffic. Looks like she's got a clear track ahead of her right now.
Blake Everett with the quickest lap of the session so far to 21.841. Nicolesco now drops down into the 21-second range as well at 21.920 as you watch a couple of them go for a tumble. Right on the wing now, the car in front of him, and gets underneath and makes the pass, gathers it up, does a nice job there through the 180.
Yeah, that was a good line right there. A good way to everybody working together here in this qualifying race. Again, these drivers are on their own pace, they're on their own clock, so they're racing for the most laps in the least amount of time in this 10-minute session, and everybody kind of working together here, as you can see, as we're working our way around. I believe this is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, Nicolesco. Nicolesco now taking over the number 1 spot away from Katie, 27-10-13 for Nicolesco's time. I don't believe he has made a pit stop yet there. Oh! Bouncing his way there. We'll see if Nicolesco pits on this lap, and he does. Here he comes in for fuel now. He is in on the wall, and he's out. Good pit stop there. The father-son duo, the ProTech RC pit lane cam, a great shot of them coming in and out of the pit lane there.
And kind of curious if they might do a short fill and not consume all the time. They certainly don't need enough to last that full 7.5 minutes, so maybe just a bit of a short fill and get them back on the track.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're looking for every advantage they can get here. As you can see, a pit stop time there for Trevor of 6.6 seconds. So pretty fast among this group right here. I think the fastest pit stops we've seen, like you mentioned, the ones of Katie and Maddie Osted in the 5-second range. 4 minutes to go here into this one. Nicolesco working his way through traffic.
Yeah, and we talked about it before. They just don't have the luxury of backing off and looking for clean track. This is the entire session. You've got to get as many laps in as absolutely possible, so you've got to make your way through that traffic as quickly as possible and get back to it. He's done a nice job so far.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Costly mistake right there. See if he can stay up top. Might open up the door for Katie.
Blake Everett clicking off a new fast lap there at 21.8. Good lap for him as he is sitting in the 4th place spot.
And now bumps to 3rd. A quick lap helping him out.
Looks like an instant replay here. Take a look. Michalesco coming up just a bit short. Hits that tube, sends him end over end. A good save for him right there, though. Doesn't have to be corner marshaled. He's back on his wheels and going again. Another angle of that just comes up a little too far to the inside.
And I think if he's not on the gas there, the thing might have continued to roll over. So being on the throttle could have saved it.
Absolutely. Michalesco doing a good job here in this one, holding down that number 1 spot. Katie Roxbury in the number 2 spot. Blake Everett in that number 3 spot.
Speaking with Gord Testman a little bit, Ty's father, and the engines that they are using out here in this open category, just like the invitational category. These things turning 44,000 RPM. Pretty incredible. A good way to describe it is they're kind of like a diesel engine. They burn nitro. 30% nitro is a good round number, probably 28 to 30%. And you had mentioned it before, about 8% of oil to mix that with, and the rest of it, that 60 to 62%, is methanol. So the oil is a nice blender, and then of course there's a number of different oils that different competitors will use as they believe it works best for them.
Yeah, fuel is an interesting thing, that's for sure. And as you said, there's no real rule on what kind of mixture you got to use, whatever works best for your engine, and they make a lot of power, that's for sure, for these vehicles to get up and going.
You keep an eye on Blake here, Blake Everett. Kind of caught up in that little gaggle of cars, got it sorted out now, starting to rip some laps back off. As we continue to talk about these engines and I learn a little bit more about them. 0.21 cubic inches is what I'm told. Produce about 3 horsepower, somewhere in that range. A brass sleeve inside of the engine, aluminum piston. They have to be broken in slowly, and they're very particular about how they do that. Bring the heat up on those 2 different metals. So it's quite a game. It's quite a dance, what they have to do out here to get the best out of these things.
Well, right now, Michalesco getting the best out of his as he is out front, leading the way still 27-10-21. Katie Roxbury still holding strong in second. A little mistake there for Blake Everett. Talking to a few of the drivers, it sounds like from the driver's stand, that back straightaway is just far enough away, and the angle of it, it's hard to determine the depth of where you're at on the racetrack, and I think that's why we've seen so many drivers struggle just a little bit hitting that same consistent line on the back straight and not end up on the inside of the tube there. With 35 seconds left to go, Michalesco leading the way, looking to set the early fast. Oh, big crash there for Everett. He goes tumbling hard off the side of the track.
Looks like the rear wing might have taken a bit of a beating there, off angle just a little bit, and they really do count on that as they fly these things big.
Yeah, especially when it comes to airtime. If you lose a rear wing or damage it in a way that it's going to change the car, a wing plays a big part of the downforce and just the overall handling of the car. Oh, another tumble there for somebody. Looks like we're back on Michalesco, your race leader.
And these guys fast enough to be dangerous as they wind down. These are our final laps here. They've started their last lap. They'll complete it here as we are out of time. Michalesco up top so far has turned in a time of 21.72 for an individual lap. But, of course, this will go back to the session on a 27:10:18 pace.
And that right there is crossing the line as fast as possible. He knew that was going to be his last lap. So rather than even worry about making the corner, he just held it as fast as he could down that straightaway and just launched it right into the front of pit lane. And who knows, could have gained a valuable 10th or 100th of a second.
Could have picked up $1,000 right
yeah,
there.
That's right. He very well could have.
We'll find out how that shakes down here with this next group. But, yeah, if you're out front, man, you might as well go for it.
Well, fantastic run there for Katie Roxbury in second as well. We're looking at there's a few highlights there. Katie, a little tumble for her. She was a race leader in the middle of that one. Blake Everett finished up at that number 4 spot. Graham Hill moving up there on the last lap just ahead of him. But Trevor Michalesco, your heat number 1 winner here for round 2 of Open Nitro Buggy.
Solid effort. Great job by Katie as well. Graham Hill, who was top qualifier in his group in the first round, will end up inside of the top 3 here. Blake Everett and Scott Brewer to round out the top 5. And speaking of Scott, let's get it over to Scotty.
All right, thank you very much. We're here with Trevor. Trevor, a solid run. We've had the chat already so far, but now I was e-buggy and now in nitro. That was a solid 27-lap run.
Yeah, thank you, Scotty. Nitro is more of my forte. I'd say e-buggy got kind of struggling sometimes, and I got a good run.
Did you take anything from your e-buggy experience and put it in your nitro, tire selection, anything like that?
I kind of, from e-buggy, I realized that like driving the color harder around here makes it a little easier to drive. If you kind of baby it around, it kind of hits all the bumps and stuff.
All right, well, we'll see if your 27-lap run will hold here for this next heat. Good job.
Thanks, Scotty.
All right, there you go. Trevor having a good run. We'll see if it's going to be good enough to win that $1,000. We'll find out here in 10 minutes.
Seems like he's pretty happy with the effort right there, as well he should be, but we saw a big time difference between the first and second groups in the first round. I'm really curious to see if we see that again. It'll depend on a little bit of track prep right here. You talk about how quickly it does dry off, so if it dries out, I think the track will be relatively close, if not almost identical to this first group, so should be a little bit tighter.
Yeah, I think it's going to be some very close racing. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top of this one. Of course, we will not have Fee Long win, as he's already made his way into the invite class, so who's next? That's the big question.
Probably didn't break anybody's heart inside of the second group.
No,
that,
I would say not. I would say not. He is a strong competitor, no doubt about that.
Look at some of the surroundings there. What you're looking at the top of the screen is part of the side-by-side track where they're competing out here as well. Some great races that went on in that division one day ago, and they'll start racing here tonight about 7 p.m. So things will cool off for them. A full schedule here. I mean, rock and roll. I mean, I don't think Buck Cherry comes on stage till 10:45, 11 o'clock tonight. So the pattern is full, as they say in Top Gun.
I was going to say it is around the clock action here, and any which way you turn, any which way you look, there's something new, something crazy going on, and it's pretty wild. You can see the track crew here laying down some water on the racetrack, trying to get a little bit of moisture back into it.
Yeah, we talked about Joey Christensen coming out here and developing this track. He, along with Aaron Webb and a number of support people out here with hoses to try and take care of it during the heat of the day. I was just out there for a bit, and not near as bad as it was yesterday. With that said, it's still extremely warm, but not as brutal as it was one day ago.
And you can see there all the mechanics getting set to go here, letting the cars warm up. We've got Doug Hooks there for Tyler Hooks. Looks like the signature wheel wiggle there to let him know we're ready to go. Set the car down. I'm hitting the track. Our open nitro buggy heat number 2 of 2 for round 2 of qualifying. On the track for their warm-up session right now. In this one, we've got Camden Lime, Caden Fuller, Braxton Cully, Ethan Mechanic, Tyler Hooks, Joshua Vigil, and Austin Wick. Once again, Fee Long Win was your top qualifier from round 1 of Open Nitro Buggy, so he got the $1,000 moved up to the invite class, so he is not on the grid for this one. It is the remaining drivers here in this one. They're all trying to top the time set by Trevor Michalesco of a 27:10:18. That is the time to beat right now for that $1,000 and the ticket to the invite class.
And some traffic here for the group right now. They're trying to get things sorted out, make their way through there as quickly as possible.
I believe that it's going to be Tyler Hooks with J Concepts getting his early warm-up laps in. So Tyler showed up this weekend with a brand new car, a Mugen car. He went from the Techno brand car to a Mugen car for this weekend. Has never run the car before, built the car, and is now on the racetrack with it. So he spent a lot of his practice time in seating yesterday, and I would imagine still throughout qualifying, still trying to kind of get the feel for the new car, get things dialed in the way it goes. And now we're looking there. That's Braxton Coley, the TLR driver. He made the switch to TLR this year as well. So a new car this season.
And TLR Team Losi
Racing. Yep.
Correct. So a number of different options out there for people as you keep an eye on them, and already seeing some pit stops. So we talked about a little bit of strategy here too. If you find yourself in a pile, maybe you want to come in early and top that thing off and run the rest of the session. I almost wonder if a light load of fuel, I don't know how sensitive they are to the weight, but if you run a partial load of fuel in the first half, come in, put another partial load in for the second half, is it any sort of advantage?
I would venture to say probably just to the advantage would not be worth the risk, I'm going to say, for a lot of these guys. So everybody coming in, just getting topped off before this race gets underway. And Tyler Hooks here circling back around.
Did you see that? So explain that to me. Why would you do that?
So basically what he was doing is when the tone sounds, the race starts, he didn't want to have to sit stopped and let the engine load up, just waiting for the tone to sound to get his race started. So instead he circled back around. That's one reason. Another reason could have been he could have seen a pack of cars, and so he didn't want to be starting a race in that pack. So instead he circled back through there. Some races, that kind of thing is frowned upon. You got to, when you come out of pit lane, if you're in a bunch of cars, you're just kind of stuck with them. Others, they don't mind if you do that. So
gotcha. And my mistake, my apologies, I should say, as we saw those guys come back in and top off with fuel, what had happened was the session had just begun.
That is correct.
So I failed to look at the clock. I saw the cars out on the racetrack thinking we were under green already, but we were not. They were just under the practice laps. So the clock started. They came back in, topped those things off.
And we're off and running now, and let these guys sort it out. I think, a little mistake there for Tyler. This is going to be an interesting one. The time to beat again. Trevor Michalesco at 27 at a 10:18 is currently the fast time. Again, the fastest time out of these two heats for round two, $1,000 and going to the invite.
Boy, Tyler struggling to get this thing in a rhythm. He's been up on the bike there a couple of times. So clearly with some side grip, if you will, lateral grip, and we heard some of the guys talking about sway bars a little bit earlier, maybe something he might want to look at, or maybe it's just the car not up to speed, just yet enough to create some scrub. So we'll see how things shake down with Tyler as he gets that thing back underway.
Absolutely. Now we're looking here at Camden Line, the S-Works driver, as he's coming down the side straight, back around to the front side now. Camden, another driver that's definitely got the speed. He's just got to put the consistency together to keep this thing on four wheels, and he's looking good right now. Back around onto the backside of the track. Caden Fuller, though, going to be leading us out here in this one, 28 at a 10:03. So more than a lap and a half faster than the previous time set by Michalesco.
But we will have that pit stop. Of course, that delta right off the bat really changes things, brings it back, it seems like, almost immediately by one lap.
Oh, there you see Camden Lime now taking over the number one spot. That is Lime we're following right now. Lime getting sideways, driving the S-Works buggy, coming onto the front side. Caden Fuller in the number two spot. Ethan Mechanic in the three spot. A good look there at the live RC track cam.
Up the step up, tags the top jump. Haven't seen too many people even attempt to try and clear that, and maybe the track has just changed enough that they can't get a good enough run at it. Certainly the face of it has been beat up.
And you notice something, take a look here at Camden Lime when we head onto this back double where a lot of guys are aired out, jumping all the way into that corner. He short jumps it just a bit. He just makes it over that gap. Watch here. Oh, lucky save for him right there. Right here, he just barely jumps that and allows him to set up for the corner a little bit easier and a little bit better and get through those bumps. And he hasn't had the issues of jumping to the inside pipe and things like the other guys have.
Able to get the thing back on the ground, get back in the throttle a little quicker. Of course, the downside to that is not attacking that jump the way the other ones have. But I agree with you. I mean, the entry of that turn is so beat up now from everybody landing there, and does it exactly the same way there and splits the difference there of the corner worker.
And here he comes in for his first pit stop. He is in and on the wall. And as you can see, these the pit crew, he's using, trouble coming out of pit lane. That is not good for Camden Lime. That is going to drop him back in the field. This may allow Braxton Cully up into the number one spot, possibly Ethan Mechanic. And
we watch the mechanics. We take it for granted that everything's going to go right down there, but it looks to me like it would be super easy to miss that car with your left hand.
Oh, absolutely. That's a big part of being a pit person is being able to catch the car, get it up on the pit lane wall. Then a lot of guys will use the pit guns. Some people will use a fuel bottle. All preference in how that gets done. As they come back around here, it looks like Ethan Mechanic has not made his pit stop yet. It's showing him timing and scoring out front, leading the way. We'll see if he's still sitting on top after the pit stop. Camden Lime with the pit stop. That last time by with a 21.4. Drops back down into the number 5 spot here this one.
So reaching the midway point here, time left 5 minutes and 10 seconds in this 10-minute session. We'll take a look at Braxton Culley here. We'll follow him around the track, see how things are going for Braxton.
Well, Braxton had a little bit of a rough round in round number 1. Right now, though, he's sitting in that number 3 spot. Looks like there with a 24 flat that time by, dropping it back down to the number 5 spot. I tell you what, on this track, one mistake, let alone a crash, can change this running order very quickly here for these drivers. Ethan Mechanic going to be out front here in this one. Mechanic coming down the side straight here, crossing the line, and he is coming in for fuel now. Mechanic was your race leader. Looking at the ProTech RC pit lane cam here. In and out now. It's going to be Tyler Hooks to the front. Here's Caden Fuller. Fuller in the number 2 spot.
Really nice effort right there. So gets it up on the bike. Nice save. Out of the throttle, sets it back down. Beautiful job through the 180 there. Nice setup for that left-hander as well.
Caden, as we've mentioned, younger brother to Mason Fuller. Mason already in the invite class. He was your open e-buggy top qualifier in round number 1.
It really looked like he almost lit up the tires there in that tails away shot.
3:45 left to go here into this one. Time to beat once again as a 27 and a 10:18 by Michalesco. And right now your top 5 drivers all ahead of that previous TQ time. Ethan Mechanic back to the front now, 27 at a 10:03. Now Camden Lime, 27 at a 10:02. So Camden, oh no, and I believe that was Camden Lime flamed out on the front straightaway. So Lime may be out of this one. Have to wait and see.
What a heartbreaker after a great comeback. And Ethan Mechanic was up top that finally on a 28-lap pace, finally did his pit stop, and then settles back in now. 27:10:02 is the mark for him right now. Camden Lime, as you talked about, will probably fall down out of the hunt here in just a moment.
Yeah, I believe that was Camden Lime, so that's going to allow Mechanic back up to the number 1 spot here, 27:10:02. Lime is not yet past the line here in this one. Tyler Hooks in 3rd, Braxton Culley 4th, Caden Fuller 5th, Wick, Vigil, and Wynn.
Tyler Hooks now jumps up into the 2nd position as anticipated. Camden Lime falls down to the 7th position. What a shame. So far has recorded the quickest lap of the session.
Yeah, and it looks like Ethan Mechanic with some troubles as well here in this one. So Braxton Culley now going to take over the number 1 spot. Braxton Culley, 27 at a 10:04, going to be his pace with 2 minutes, 25 seconds left to go. What happened to Ethan Mechanic?
How quickly it changes, right? Just a couple of minutes left to go. As you indicated before, we'll keep an eye on him, see if he can string together some good laps here.
Unbelievable right now. And now Tyler Hooks to the front here in this one. Hooks on a 27:10:04. Caden Fuller right there on 27:10:06. Braxton Culley 27:10:07. Any 3 of those drivers, they are separated by less than 2 seconds right now as they are working their way back around here with a minute 55 left to go.
Right now, 3 drivers quicker than Trevor Michalesco. 4 drivers as Austin Works jumps up into the top 4.
This is going to be a race right down to the wire here. We're looking at Caden Fuller, orange and green HB Racing buggy as he works his way through the infield into the step-up section. Tyler Hooks driving the Mugen car out front in the number 1 spot. Fuller is 2nd. Braxton Culley in the TLR buggy in the number 3 spot.
Big air, nice landing right there on the throttle again. 2 of them really making tracks here in this 2nd session. Open nitro buggy, final group, 2nd session.
And you can tell Caden Fuller is pushing really hard right now. He's trying to gain every bit of speed that he can. The trouble is he starts pushing this hard. This is where mistakes can happen. Fuller in the number 1 spot, just ahead of Braxton Culley by 9/10 of a second.
A lot on the line here. I mean, looks like whoever wins this one is going to get that $1,000 check. Again, the 2nd group a little bit quicker here.
Hooks back up into the mix here. Fuller, Hooks, Culley, all right there together. Fuller out front here at 27:10:01, 8/10 of a second ahead of Tyler Hooks. Tyler Hooks is 1 point. Oh, trouble there. That's exactly what we were talking about. Caden Fuller making a mistake. Tyler Hooks now to the front with 35 seconds to go.
How about that? Again, just a last-minute change here as these competitors go at it, and now traffic right in front of him as well that he has to deal with. Past one of them, another one right there in front to see if he can rip off one more, but time is running down here with just 20 seconds left.
It's now going to be Tyler Hooks out front. Braxton Culley in the number 2 spot. Braxton Culley was only 3/10 of a second back there. Now Fuller up into the number 2 spot.
want Cody to Mike.
Can Fuller get it back together and sneak back underneath there? I think it's going to be a tough call. Tyler Hook's putting together some good laps here late in the session. The clock has wound down to 0. If you've started a lap, this will be the last one to complete.
And there's Caden Fuller across the line with a 10:01.5. We'll see what Hooks and Cully have got. Cully with a 10:05. Here comes Tyler Hooks. It is going to be close. Will Tyler Hooks or Caden Fuller get it? Tyler Hooks across the line with a 27 at a 10 flat. Tyler Hooks, Live RC's very own.
I'm ready.
$1,000 richer and going to the invite class.
Congratulations. Great effort for Tyler Hooks, and Scotty's on it already.
All right, we are down here with Tyler Hooks. He had a fist pump down at his dad thugged out there. Tyler, woo, $1,000.
I mean, honestly, like, I was probably the 5th fastest guy yesterday, so I was kind of just trying to set my car up for 10 minutes, but man, you got to make the most of what you can get, and the 2 fastest guys to start out that heat race only made it to the 5-minute mark, and so I'm sure just like Caden was thinking and Braxton was thinking, it's like, honestly, this is going to be your best shot if you want to just make it straight through and not worry about points. So you saw for the last 5 minutes, the 3 of us were just going as fast as possible. Braxton made some mistakes right at the end, and I knew it was just going to be me and Caden, and like last lap, like I know that you don't have to turn, so I'm just going to hit the pipe at the end. So I'm shaking. Like, that was gnarly.
Yeah, $1,000. Have you ever won money, let alone $1,000 in RC racing?
I've won some contingency races, and a lot of people like to say it because I run some like ghetto classes. So this one was for winning the big boy class, like, I mean, the fake big boy class, but now we're in the big boy class. So, hey, I'll take it. So, yeah, all those people that don't like E-Truggy, like, I was taking money from it, suck it. It's a real $1,000.
Oh, right here is I'm going to go off. Jimmy's got the, right there, ladies and gentlemen, $1,000. Show me the money. Tyler, winning some money. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I don't keep a lot of things, but this one's going in Thug's garage. He gets to keep this one. That's pretty sick.
Who's getting the money, though, Dad or you?
I don't know about all that player. Like, that may go to me, but he can have the check.
Well done, man. Good luck in the invite.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. It's the emotion. He's raced for ages. He's been all around the block so many times, but still, a chance to win a race here at Vision. You can tell he's absolutely stoked.
Great stuff. Thanks a lot, Scotty. Yeah, I couldn't be happier for Tyler. Super cool dude. Had a chance to chat with him a little bit yesterday as well. So happy to be out here, and glad to see him have that success. Good stuff.
Yeah, fantastic father-son duo between him and Doug Hooks, better known as Thug. And Doug does just as much work behind the scenes, makes sure Tyler's rigs are all ready to go. So a big win for both of those individuals here as he moves on to the invite class and $1,000.
That will wrap up the second group there in the Open Nitro Buggy category for qualifier number 2. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be right back.
Upgrading. It's what we do. So upgrading is what we did. Introducing the IQ equipment lineup powered by HMF. Designed for the most adventurous side-by-sides in the world, IQ equipment has the strength to tackle the off-road head-on. Bolt-on, American-manufactured steel, engineered to increase strength, durability, and protection, so you're equipped to handle the most extreme performance. When you're ripping through the desert at full throttle, or tearing through some of the most brutal terrain in the world, you're going to need equipment that keeps you moving at a high level. Because when you have the performance and you have the protection, you then have the confidence to actively pursue your passions just as freedom was intended to be. HMF, equipped to perform.
And the second qualifying session for the Open Nitro Buggy category in the books. We will switch gears and go over to the Open E-Buggy category. And of course, we will shorten up the time for these sessions to 8 minutes, from 10 minutes to 8 minutes, as that's about the max for the batteries here for these vehicles, albeit very fast, equally impressive. Once again, Ken Stout, Mike Garrison, Scotty Ernst covering all the action for you. Hope you have joined us there at home. Keep up with all the live time and scoring as well.
Yeah, we got more great racing ahead of us here. We're getting ready to head into our electric buggy division. So same exact cars that we've been seeing with the nitro buggies. However, these are electric powered cars. So instead of the nitro powered engines, we've got the electric powered motors. the battery packs in these, and these drivers getting set to go. A lot of our invite drivers and our open nitro drivers heading into the electric classes as well. One of those in particular, Braxton Coley, we just saw him. He's staying on the driver's stand. His dad, Jared, and his mechanic simply going back and dropping off the nitro car in the pits, bringing back the e-car, and he's right back on the track again.
Good stuff, and they'll get some practice laps here, just like the nitro cars did. A couple of minutes worth. So with the batteries only lasting 8 minutes, an 8-minute session, they've got a 2-minute warm-up here. Will they go out there, burn a little bit, come in and change a battery real quick?
Most of them won't change batteries, but now that you mentioned that, that is something that these guys got to think about a little bit. Obviously, if they're running a little bit bigger, faster motors than another guy or something like that, their run time is going to be decreased. And as those batteries start wearing down, you lose power. So the car will start slowing down. Everything gets a little more sluggish and things. So the amount of warm-up time that these guys take is it's up to them. But if I were personally them, I typically take a lap just to kind of get in my groove. If I'm running an electric car, pull off to the side and let the car sit. You don't want to lose any power by the end of the race. You don't want to run anything down any more than you have to. But at the same time, you got to weigh in there. You got to feel the groove, kind of get used to the track and things like that. So there you see Robert Chapman. He's doing both. He's getting the best of both worlds. He's slow rolling around the track just to feel the track out, and he's saving power on that car.
Get it lined up for where he wants to begin his session, and actually,
that's probably not where he wants to begin.
Not sure he wanted to go off the track. I thought maybe he was getting out of the way of another competitor, but don't think that one was by design. About 20 seconds away from starting Q2 for the first group of open e-buggy.
Yeah, and again in this one we got Braxton Coley, Trevor Michalesco, Jacob Vigil, Sean Miller, Robert Chapman, Tony Hinojosa, Scott Brewer, Tyler Noon, and Camden Lime.
So Trevor Michalesco was quick in group number 1, the first round. Just saw him have some good success as well in the nitro category. So he's been up top of a couple of groups here so far today.
And here they come onto the track, getting their clock started here in this one. I do believe this is going to be Sean Miller, one of our track workers coming out with Jimmy Babcock, part of the JBRL series out in Southern California. Helping us out here this weekend as well, and also getting to do a little bit of racing, which is fantastic to see. Whoa! Going the wrong. Oh, no. Those cars looked identical as well. So
they did, and you know the guy that ran into him was like, "Are you kidding me? I mean, what are the chances that you pull right back in front of me?"
I should probably never admit this, but I will. I was in a race one time very similar to that situation with two cars that looked alike, and I got them confused, and I was watching the wrong car. And when you're watching the wrong car and you're pulling full throttle going the wrong direction, it turns out to be bad real quick.
Well, it gets worse. As a spotter for IndyCar and sports cars, I can tell you that I've spotted for the wrong car. Telling a driver he's clear when he wasn't can be a really bad thing. So
there might be a little more on the line there for that.
Yeah, and there's not a spotter out there, a professional spotter out there that hasn't done it at some point in time. But boy, it's a pretty sick feeling. I'll give you that.
Well, back on the racetrack here, Camden Lime. We saw him leading in the Open Nitro division. He's back out here for the e-buggy class. And Camden Lime leading the way here in this one, opening up with a 21 flat, 21.072, a fast lap early on as he works his way through traffic, driving the S-Works buggy. Woo! Getting through traffic, though. That could be some of the most nerve-wracking laps is just trying to work your way through there. A good look at the Tekin track cam. Camden Lime coming back around here through the front stretch. Tyler Noon in second, Michalesco in third.
Nice setup right there. And a bunch of cars right there in front of him. One flips, another one checks up. Because of the one that flipped, he scales both of them. No problem, gets right by, and now it's clean track. Oh, and no sooner they do that and hits the tube on the inside. Has to gather it back up. And lost time all the way down the straightaway because of that, trying to get it gathered back up.
As he's working his way into the infield, obviously this weekend the main focus is going to be on those nitro classes and especially on the invite nitro class, but can't leave out that the open e-buggy winner also gets $1,000 after the main event tomorrow. So the open e-buggy winner has a chance to take home some cash as well. So not only is Camden out there looking for a little extra track time to put into his nitro racing, but chance for some more money as well.
Yeah, and we've heard these guys both talk about it going both ways. Nice job, Tyler. Tyler stuck his head in here into the booth and gave us a high five. I was thinking he was bringing us a little bit of cash. Didn't he just pick up a grand?
I was going to say, I think you better be coming in here with more than a high five.
Maybe lunch at the very least, right?
So back on the track here in this one, Camden Lime coming down the straightaway onto the backside of the track he goes. Braxton Cully in that number 2 spot. Braxton going to be 4.5 seconds back. Now Michalesco over the number 2 spot. It's now Camden Lime back to the number 1 spot. So Lime and Michalesco back and forth they go. Obviously no pit stops here in the e-buggy classes. But these guys are, the order they're in is not going to change much unless they make a mistake.
Yeah, Camden Lime with a full lap on the rest of the field right now, 23.820, and then 22.811 for Braxton Cully. A couple of them at the 22-lap pace, and then we go to the 21s for Robert Chapman and Tyler Noon.
Yeah, Camden, I'm sorry, getting hung up just a little bit there with lap traffic on the front straight. He gets it sorted back out, and he is back rolling on the backside of the track. He goes. Braxton Cully, 5 seconds back. Ooh, costly mistake right there for Lime.
Michael Lesko here as we'll follow him around, see if he can gather this thing back up. Currently sitting P3. 22-lap pace, 8:14, 22.808. Braxton Cully in second place, so Trevor not too far off of that. Michalesco. Certainly an opportunity to jump up into second before this one is done. Still plenty of time left at 3.5 minutes.
Robert Chapman working his way up to the number 4 spot now. Tyler Noon, the 5, Brewer Vigil, Hinojosa, and a Miller. Your running order. Now we got a pack of 3 cars here. This is where things start getting a bit dicey here as Michalesco trying to work his way clean by traffic. He's going to cut back to the inside. Oh, not able to make it happen. He was looking to cut back, take the inside line. Unfortunately, that other driver there took that line away from him. They got tangled up a bit. That may drop him back to the number 4 spot. Chapman may be able to take over 3rd. Take an instant replay here. You see Michalesco. He looks to dive in. That the other driver there in the white buggy just lost the rear end a bit, came loose, spun back around.
Yeah, that white buggy's been in a little bit of action so far in this session.
Oh!
Big kick up right there, ends up on his lid. Tough go of it for Trevor Michalesco.
Yeah, take an instant replay here as Michalesco back on his wheels now, back going once again.
Man, the rebound on that hit whenever he laid up a bit heavy.
Another mistake.
Wasn't able to clear that, right? I mean, and it just rebounded the back of that thing up and over.
Yeah, now he finds himself caught in traffic. This is going to be a rough heat here for Michalesco. I think you can see in his driving style, he's pushing super hard trying to make up time that he had lost.
And here's a replay of what happened initially. Just caught the top of that step up and it launched it.
The other problem here running the e-buggies is a lot of times when a nitro car is upside down, you can give it some throttle and you can hear them revving. So if you're a corner worker out there, a corner marshal, you can hear those cars and it catches your attention. You run and get them. With an electric car, you're upside down and you hold it wide open. Nobody's going to hear that thing. So
it's an interesting
Yep.
side note for sure. Back in his groove now, but definitely was out of sorts there for a couple of laps, and that'll hurt him tremendously. Camden Lime still up top, by the way, with just over 1 minute to go. On a 22-lap pace, 8:02, 22.805. Braxton Coley has really closed the gap here, so this one's still up in the air for sure.
Yeah, Braxton trying to make some moves here in this one. This is Braxton Coley, the TLR driver, out of Carthage, Missouri, in the green, yellow, and white paint job. Coming back around through the infield section here. He's got Robert Chapman, the number 3 spot. He is 2 seconds back. 2 seconds back for your race leader, Camden Lime. Fast lap on the track. This says 20.7 by Camden Lime. Braxton Coley's fast lap at 21.2.
A little bit wide, but nice and smooth out there on the pipe for sure. Looks good, man.
Yeah, Braxton starting to figure out the new car here and making the best of it here in round number 2 of qualifying here for our open e-buggy class. 15 seconds to go. Praying staying right at that 2 second mark.
Man, he stuffed the nose a couple of times on the step up and right there in that final turn as well. Just big time air, the back of it up, and really landed nose down, yard darting, if you will.
Now he's coming. Oh, a car stuck on the step up on that big hole. And as I talked about, that big hole developing more and more, that's going to become a problem.
Braxton Coley putting it together here. Another one right in front of me, but doing a good job. That'll end up his final lap. And Braxton will end up in the number 2 position. So the top 2 separated by just a second, as you indicated before. Camden Lime atop the group here. Congratulations to him. With a pace of 22.802.5. So after 2 groups of open e-buggy, he is the man.
Fantastic run there for Camden. We saw him. He had a little trouble there in the Nitro class, and he redeems himself here in round 2 with a win in that one. Braxton Coley going to take second for the heat. Robert Chapman third. Trevor Michalesco fourth. Jacob Vigil fifth. Tyler Noon sixth. Scott Brewer, Tony Hinojosa, and Sean Miller rounding out your field there for heat number 1 of open e-buggy. Another heat coming up next. Look at our ProTech RC pit lane cam there. We look back at some highlights there from that race. There's Camden Lime, your race winner, putting the laps in that S-Works buggy.
Camden doing a really nice job here. Was up top pretty much the entire session. Had a lap on the group there for a while. Got held up just a little bit. Ended up back with the same lap count as Braxton Coley, but was able to beat him out by just a second. And a big moment there for Trevor Michalesco. All right, let's go down to Scotty.
Very much. We're here with S-Works hot race driver Camden Lime from Peoria, Arizona. That was a crazy, crazy race. You had a solid lead, but as you said before we went live, you crashed the last 6 laps.
Yeah, I haven't really been driving to my full potential this week, and I mean, I've been having good runs in Nitro Buggy, both runs, and I've had something stupid happen to me. I flamed out in the last one, but you got to control what you can control and just go out into the round 3 and hopefully get that TQ.
All right, so now you got a heat race win. I mean, you got to shake that all off and get ready, locked and loaded for the next one, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much just regroup and hopefully have another good e-buggy run because I didn't get to run my first run. And so got to put another clean run in, and hopefully I'll be somewhere low pack A, high pack B, and just control the damage by now.
All right, best of luck to you, Butter.
Thank you.
So Camden there, he's got a lot to think about. Had a tough start, got it together better this time. Probably not a fast enough run to look at being at the top of this round, but anything can happen.
Thanks a lot, Scotty. Yeah, solid effort there for sure. As we continue on here in the middle of day number 2 at Mid-America Outdoors, we had a chance to speak with Ty Tessman a little bit earlier in the day as well. Scotty has been busy.
My name is Ty Tessman, and I'm from Seven Persons, Alberta, Canada. I've been racing for 17 years, and it started with my grandma bought me a car from a department store, and then we got a hobby grade car after that one broke. Then my parents started a club in our local town, and just kind of snowballed from there. We went to all Canadian races, then eventually went to American races, and figured out how fast we had to be, and then kind of just worked at it from there, and then just kind of gained sponsors and gained pace, and now we're here today. I think it's just, anything could happen. Like, we're in practice and we're going around, and all of a sudden you hit a rock and your car flies off the track. So even if you hit the same spot every time, it could be your lucky time to hit that rock and shoot off the track. So I think the racing is so close and the times are so close that it's probably going to come down to who doesn't hit this certain rock that comes out of the track, or there's holes developing constantly. Luckily, we're all racing against each other in the same heat, so it's not like you're racing 30 minutes apart from each other. So at least we're all on the same track together, but it's definitely going to be a bit of a luck factor and just kind of chaos, I think, in some of the races because of the track and how it's deteriorating and the rocks that are coming up. I think it means a lot to the RC community because of how big of an off-road event it is, and that everybody's in the same mentality of off-road racing and competing, whether you're riding side-by-sides, the dirt bikes, the rock crawling trucks, whatever it is, you all kind of have a racing desire and competing desire that I think if they come over and see RC, it's a lot bigger chance for them to maybe start RC or kind of to get out, especially being on TV. It's just something that really I think the RC community needs to get their name out there, because we've been racing in front of each other for the last 15, 20 years, and I don't know if it's really helped a whole lot, but this kind of racing where you're televised or at a big event is really what we need to, I think, to make the next step in RC to really grow the hobby.
And, of course, a world champion there is Ty Tessman, and had a chance to speak with him and his father just a little bit earlier. Extremely passionate about this sport, and you mentioned how talented those guys are. We'll see him here in this next group as well of Open e-buggy, but he's one of the players that's on the property.
Oh, absolutely. Ty Tessman is he's undoubtedly one of the fastest drivers in the world, and he's proved that with world championship wins. He's always in the hunt, no matter where he goes or what he's racing. And him and his dad, Gord, they make a fantastic team. Gord, his mechanic, and of course part of the X-Ray team as well. Fantastic duo and some tremendous talent coming out of the Tessman camp for sure.
Ty Tessman was quick in group number 2 in the first session of qualifying. We'll see if he can maintain that here and pick up the pace. He'll have to lay down some pretty good grouping of laps if he's going to get up there and swap out Camden Lime for that top spot, but certainly capable of doing so as they come out here for their warm-up laps.
Yeah, Tessman here heading out on the track with the newest of the X-Ray electric 8-scale buggies. Working his way onto the backside of the track, running the hot race tires.
Yeah, and I saw Ty down there prepping tires as he had the knife out and was cutting the old tires off. And brand new set of tires, I believe, was going on the Nitro car, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see the foam inserts inside of them. We chatted about that a little bit, and you said there's a number of different options for them. So different tire compounds, different tread patterns, different foam inserts for inside. The wheels there's a number of options in wheels, you said, based on how much they're flexing. Maybe there's different number of spokes inside of the wheel. They look smooth on the outside, but if you flip them over and you can look inside, you can see where the spokes are. So a lot of different options there just on the 4 corners.
Absolutely, a tremendous amount of options, and these guys have put the whole package together, that's for sure.
And as we indicated before, because the batteries are close to being maxed out here in this 8-minute session, they'll put together maybe one warm-up lap, a lap and a half, and pull it off to the side, save the juice inside of that battery, and get ready for the full 8-minute qualifying length here of this session. And the clock will start here in just about 30 seconds.
Yeah, coming up at this, we got Fee Long Win, Ty Tessman, of course, Caden Fuller, who we're looking at right there, the HP Racing driver, Austin Wick, Garrett Martin, Ethan Mechanic, Tanner Denny, Tyler Hooks, and Joshua Vigil. Of course, Tyler Hooks just taking the Open Nitro Buggy TQ for round number 2, $1,000, and moving on to the Invite class. So he's looking to improve his times here in the Open e-buggy class as well for round 2 of qualifying. Time to beat, as Ken mentioned, Camden Lime, a 22 at an 8:02.5.
So Fee Long Win, certainly one of those players to keep an eye on here. Ty Tessman, without a doubt, and Tanner Denny, 2 favorites here inside of the category as well. A couple of invitational drivers. We'll see how the rest of them stack up against these tough guys.
Yeah, and after seeding rounds yesterday, this would be our, what you might call your B resort. Your A main guys would be coming up in the next one. So your fastest 9 guys are in the next heat, and then after seeding, this would be your second group of fastest guys. And it's a little surprising to see Ty Tessman after seeding in this group, as he's normally in, that top 9. However, yesterday I know they put in a lot of time working on the cars, tweaking things here and there, and I think from talking to Ty and his dad, I think they've got the cars worked out to where they want them to be. He likes to feel the cars, and he's making good use of it right now.
And worth mentioning that during our seating sessions that we had yesterday, they invert those here today. So meaning that they had 3 consecutive laps, and then they had their combined time for those 3 consecutive laps. And then based on what that time was, they set up groups here for today, and the slowest group kicks off the qualifying session, and we rotate up to the fastest group. So as you just alluded to, the quickest group based on those times from one day ago is yet to come.
That is correct, as we are 3 laps into this one. Caden Fuller going to be out front, lead the way. Ty Tessman in that number 2 spot. Fee Long Win in the number 3 spot. Mechanic in the 4, and Tanner Denny rounding out your top 5. Still early on in this one, 6:20 to go.
The mark to beat set by Camden Lime is 22:802.5, and 6 of them ahead of that now, though. But it's very early on here in the session with a lot of time to go. For sure will change up a bit. Backing that one in just a little bit.
That was a beautiful move right there. Ty Tessman showing his skills right there as he backed it into the corner there. Still hit that inside line. Ty looking really good here in round number 2 with the e-buggy. Starting to get that car figured out here on this very rough and challenging track here at Visions.
And let's talk about what we just saw there a moment ago. We have not talked about slowing these cars down a bit. Obviously on the trigger, you pull it back, you're accelerating to push it forward. As he tags the tube there, it's going to slow the car down. But is there an actual braking system? There's not brakes on these wheels, correct?
Correct. So basically how this is set up is on the nitro cars, your center differential, you have a front brake disc and a rear brake disc. And you can actually adjust on the nitro cars the brake bias from front to rear. Most of your electric 8-scale buggies, it is a braking system to where it's all brakes all at the same time. So you can adjust from front to rear on the e-buggy cars for most of them. They do make some conversion kits that allow you to do that, but most of these guys are not running those. They're most likely running just a standard setup to where when you hit the brakes, all front and rear, all 4 tires are braking at the same time.
Good to know, yeah, because when he came in there, it looked like he had a bit more rear brake bias and, wanted to back the car in, setting it up for the turn, if you will. And sounds like certainly something they can do with the nitro cars, but here it's all 4 wheels doing what they do.
Well, and early on here, Caden Fuller was leading the way, but now it is going to be Ethan Mechanic taking over that number 1 spot. He is 0.3 of a second ahead on the clock. And now look at that, Ty Tessman, your X-Ray driver, taking over the number 1 spot here, Ty, on a 23.808. So on a whole nother lap here from what we saw out of Camden Lime in the last heat. Still a lot of racing left to go. Ethan Mechanic dropping to the number 3 spot. Caden Fuller up to the number 2 spot.
We are at the halfway point here. 4 minutes complete, 4 minutes yet to go. Ty Tessman showing what he's made of here as he rises to the top, as just indicated by Mike. Oh. The top 3 players, top 4 players, all on a 23-lap pace. Good look here at Ethan Mechanic.
As he works his way around, we saw a car upside down on the straightaway, and for everybody's sake, that is the worst place to crash. If you're a sitting duck on a fast straightaway like that, that can be a chaotic mess, especially if you get clipped for anybody involved there.
Yeah, a little over-rotation there, and turn number 8 for Ethan Mechanic sent him off the jump, aimed back towards the inside, thought it would go completely inside of the tube, was able to keep it about half on and half off the tube. But right here, just a little over-rotation. It's amazing how it changes the entire attitude of the car off the face of that jump, and then it is what it is.
Yeah, Mechanic taking that tight inside line right now, trying to close that gap back up on Ty Tessman. However, Tessman is down to a 4.063 second lead over Mechanic at the number 2 spot. Felong Win has worked his way into 3rd. Fuller Hooks rounding out your top 5 here in this one as of right now. 2:45 left to go here for Open E-Buggy heat number 2 of 3.
Yeah, Tessman's going to need to put together some good laps, as we talked about before. Oh, what a tough go of it right there, but Tessman needs to keep this streak together if he's going to hang with the players that are coming up here in the next group.
Mechanic right now. Ooh, that was close. Jumped a little close to the inside. Thought he was going to hit the pipe. Felong Win now going to move up to the number 2 spot. Mechanic dropping to the 3 spot. Ty Tessman still out front in control of this one on a 23 at an 8:08 pace here for Tessman.
Yeah, really close between Felong Win and Ethan Mechanic here as they sit in second and third. 23.815.9, 23.817 flat. So basically, and just like that, Mechanic closes it up even more now.
It looks like we go back here to Ty Tessman. Oh, boy, wow, that was close. Ty Tessman just about getting caught up in a tumbling car all the way down that straightaway. That could have been catastrophic for Ty Tessman. A good save for him right there as he dives to the inside last minute. Minute 40 to go here for Tessman.
So smooth, so under control. The setup for each one of those turns just amazing. I love this move right here. He's just got it down. Right down to the apex of the turn there. for turn number 3. Bangs off the step up. We'll see what he does here as he comes around through the complex of 8 and 9 and airs it out, sticks it perfectly, and down the straightaway again.
Ty, definitely one of the smoother drivers out there. Never really gets wild or out of control. He's always pretty smooth, pretty calm on the track, and he's showing that right now. Out front, 23 at an 8:09. His pace, 4 seconds ahead of Feelong Win. Still your top 4 drivers ahead of Camden Lime's previous TQ time, setting that last heat of a 22:802.
You watch somebody like Ty Tessman, you stand off to the side and you watch, you think, oh man, I could do that. That looks, looks pretty cool. It looks pretty easy. Anything but. So accomplished. Oh, wow, man, just dodging a bullet right there again is Ty Tessman. Car right to the inside of him. Did get into the side of him just a little bit. I don't think held him up, a fraction of a second possibly, but could have been much worse. Getting down to the end of this one. 15 seconds yet to go inside of this. Final laps beginning. Well, Ty might get one more in here. Think he will?
Yeah, Ty working his way through the infield here. Looking to better that time here in Open E-Buggy, but like you mentioned, Ken, the next group of guys, he's got some stack competition coming up next. We'll see if any of those guys can top this time. This is going to be Ty's last time around. As he crosses the line here, a 23:809 to finish it up. Tessman going to take the win here in this one in a new fast time.
Yeah, puts 10 seconds on the rest of the field here. That's exactly what he needed to do because the players are coming up here in this next group. He knows that, but we'll see how it works out for him. Solid effort as he was quick in his group in the first round of qualifying, quick in his group now, second round of qualifying, but there's one more group yet to go here before it's all determined in Open E-Buggy.
A good shot there of pit lane as the next group work their way out there. Katie Roxbury getting Jared Wiggins' car ready. There you see the King, Richard Saxton, bringing out the car for Spencer Rivkin, the team associated driver. Graham Hill there. We take a look back here at Ty Tessman, that run that he just had. A fantastic run for him, nearly flawless. Start to finish for Ty, 23:809. A new fast time here in Open E-Buggy for round 2 of qualifying.
Good looking car, really strings together some nice laps. And once again, we'll get it over to Scotty, who's with Ty Tessman.
Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. We're here with Ty Tessman, drives for X-Ray and Hot Race Tires. Ty, at 23:809, your final result in that one. How do you think that's going to stand up?
I don't know, really. The track's going to be drive for the next heat, so we'll kind of see how the speed difference is. But just trying to battle the track and not hit a rock or do anything stupid. So I was just trying to go around and clean laps. And I had one little bobble. I ran into the pipe once, but it didn't really cost me a whole lot. So happy with how I'm driving. Lacking a little bit of grip out there, trying to struggle to find a little bit more grip and get more pace. But I just tried to do all I could with the car to drive around that one without crashing. I think I did. I'm pretty happy with how I drove. Just trying to maybe get a little bit more grip for the next one.
There's going to be a lot of people that are watching RC for the first time here. When you guys are out there driving, you really need to look far ahead of your car to see what's coming. We dodged a couple bullets there at the end in the last few laps there. Try to explain exactly what your vision is when you're out there driving.
Well, when I'm driving, I'm obviously seeing my own car, but I can see, on this track anyway, I can see pretty much the entire rest of the track out of my peripheral vision. So I can kind of see where other competitors are, especially when we're racing. It comes in handy, so you can see if the guy's right behind you or how far he's behind you or how far he's ahead of you. But that one anyway, like coming down the straightaway, was pretty close. I saw him tumbling, but I was expecting him just to keep tumbling that direction, not come back in. So I was a little bit lucky still. But yeah, just trying to be aware of your whole surroundings is definitely important, especially racing like this. It's not a tight track. There's going to be 15 cars for the main, so you're going to need to be aware and trying to dodge chaos as much as you can.
Good job. I hope it holds up for you.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. World champion Ty Tessman talking about what it's like, how he's watches the whole track as he's, as I said, one of the best in the world. Great run there for Ty.
Thanks a lot, Scotty. Yeah, that's exactly what we had been talking about a little bit earlier, and you said the guys that are good can really keep an eye on other things that are going on the track, and certainly Ty Tessman, one of those guys capable of doing exactly that.
Yeah, he is definitely, as Scotty said, one of the best in the world, and that's what makes him the best.
All right, we had a chance to spend some time with Jared Tebow as well. So let's get up close and personal and learn a little bit more about the former world champ. And my apologies, thought that was an interview that they had queued up for us. It was
he didn't have much to say.
Yeah, a billboard there that shows some of his stats and accomplishments. Certainly extremely talented, as these guys will come out here, this final group, as we've been alluding to, and a lot of our invitational drivers. By the way, somebody needs to get Garrison some lunch in here. He's eating the flies from what I understand. So what are you doing over there, bud?
I did. I'm not going to lie. That last race there, I took a breath to say a little something and sucked one right down. Sure did. There's been a fly here in the booth with us, and he's been bothering all of us.
He's gone. Well, there's 2 flies, so there's 1 left. So if you want a little dessert or round 2, there's another one here.
No, I'm good. I'll leave that one to you. I don't want to hog it all. I'll share.
I don't want to hog it either. Your wife's here, so
we'll give it to her.
Maybe she wants a fly.
Yeah. Oh, just a little protein snack for the afternoon.
So it goes.
Well,
all right.
Open e-buggy, the grid lineup here for this one. Mason Fuller, Jared Tebow, Ryan Lutz, Spencer Rivkin, Jared Wiggins, Cole Ogden, Ryan Pavitas, Seth Van Dalen, and Ryan Mayfield. As you were talking about Jared Tebow, he's been in this a long time, and you mentioned it yesterday. You know, he has mentioned retirement several times, and then he kind of linked back up with Techno RC, and it's rejuvenated his career, and here he is still running with the best of the best.
Yeah, you mentioned it as well. I mean, joining a Techno, 5 podiums. He's already had some good results so far this year with 5 podiums. So he stood up on the box a number of times, and including a third at the DNC and Pro Nitro Truggy, and a double podium at the Southern Indoor Championships in Pro Nitro Truggy and Buggy. So those are special weekends when you can excel in a couple of different categories like that.
Yeah, and if you compare it to the world of motocross, which Jared is also he's a heavy mountain biker and a motocross racer and all of that, I would kind of think of him as kind of like an Antonio Caroli. He he just keeps trucking. He's still out there and doing his thing, and at any given moment he could be the guy to beat out front. So we'll see if he's got what it takes here in this one as Open e-buggy, our final heat, gets underway.
Keep an eye on these guys, extremely talented racers here. These are a handful of the guys that can make a living in this sport. It's certainly an option for anybody out there that's watching and thinking about it. You've got to come out here and put in the time. We've talked about it time and time again. You've got to work hard. It does not come easy if you want to get out here and play ball with these cats.
And, talking about that, another cool part about this is you're seeing guys that if you've got the talent and you put in the work and stuff, we've got kids from, look at Long, he goes out this morning and wins $1,000 at 8 or 9 years old, and then you've got drivers that are pushing or even over 40, and they're still at the top of their game, and then you've got guys all in between. So it's a sport that allows anybody of any age to get into and have a chance at some major success.
Keeping an eye on Jared Tebow there. Unfortunately, went for a bit of a ride as he gets his session going. Currently sitting up top with about a minute and a half complete so far is Cole Ogden. And Cole Ogden out here in the Invitational had a great run. Started off on the pole, if you will, in the first position in the Invitational qualifier. And unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, I believe stumbled in the pits. So I think he had a long pit stop, if I'm not mistaken, about 2 to 3 seconds longer than the fellow competitors that were up in front, and cost him a 3-second lead.
Now we switch over here. We're looking at Seth Van Dalen. Seth, Jared's Techno RC teammate, sitting in the number 4 spot here in this race. So he's working his way around the track. He's got, I believe that is going to be Spencer Rivkin right there behind him. Rivkin on the track is in the number 8 spot. Oh, Van Dalen hitting that outside pipe. That could have been a horrendous crash there. He was able to keep it on the wheels, though. That's a tough buggy because that was a hard hit as he was full throttle, headed down that straightaway, bouncing off that back wall.
Nice save and a bit of luck in there as well. You take all you can get, sails it up over there, gets it through that right-hander and hooks a rut, gets it up on the bike and sets it back down again.
Yeah, Seth pushing it really hard right here in this one. He is trying to work his way back up into the mix here. Ryan Mayfield out front, leading the way on 23.804. 5 seconds ahead of Ty Tessman's previous TQ time out of the last heat. Mason Fuller in second. Ryan Pavidis, we talked about him yesterday. Pavidis was had a little bit of rough luck there in the first round of qualifying, but it looks like he is back on his game here for round number 2. Pavidis working his way up into the number 2 spot now. And he is only 1.4 seconds behind Ryan Mayfield. Seth Van Dalen, 0.5 of a second back from him. Now we're looking at Mason Fuller, who was up at the number 2 spot, but had a rough lap last time around, dropped back to the number 5 spot.
Clicking them off here, and of course, once again, Ty Tessman is the mark that they're trying to beat if they're going to be number 1, and currently there are 3 up ahead of him. Session's still fairly young, just approaching the midway point. Ryan Mayfield, of course, the winner in the invitational class in that first qualifier. Looks like he has really turned things around here today. He's on his game.
Yeah, good look there at HB Racing's Mason Fuller. The concentration he has there on the driver's stand as he's working his way around. We saw him. He was the top driver in open e-buggy for round number 1 of qualifying. I don't think he's going to get it here in this one, but take a look at timing and scoring. Ryan Pavidis now to the top of the board here in this one. I did not see what happened to Ryan Mayfield. He had a 24-second lap. That dropped Mayfield all the way to 5th. So Ryan Pavidis, another young and up-and-coming racer, of course, the son of legendary Mark Pavidis, is in the number 1 spot. 23 at 8:07 his pace.
Yeah, it was cool watching Fuller there work the trigger. You can see how quickly it happens, and his right hand so light on the steering wheel, so controlled. And now take a look at Pavidis.
Yeah, Ryan Pavidis working his way around here. Fuller and Pavidis now 1/10 of a second apart on the clock as they work their way back into the infield. It is still anybody's race here with 3 minutes, 15 seconds left to go. Top 3 drivers, the only one ahead of Ty Tessman's previous TQ time. Now Van Dalen up to the top of the board here in this one.
23.806, by the way, Ty Tessman at 23.809.5. So Ty Tessman's time right there in the hunt. This one's far from over here. I'm not going to tell you he's going to win it. There's some players in front of him right now, but this one is not over, and it is going to be close.
Well, like you said, with 2:45 left to go in this one, there's a good chance Ty could top this entire field, depending on what happens here in these final few laps.
Again, Ty, 23 laps, 8:09.5 the pace as we take a look at Ryan Pavidis right now. He is on a 23-lap pace, 8:06.2, followed up by an 8:06.7, an 8:07 flat, an 8:08.7 as well. It is tight.
Yeah, some very close racing here. Ryan Pavidis trying to put in the fast lap. Seth Van Dalen, a 20.1 is going to be the fastest lap we got on the track at this point. Pavidis out front, Fuller in second, Van Dalen third, Jared Wiggins in number 4 spot, Ryan Mayfield in the 5, Tebow, Ogden, Rivkin, and Lutz. Lutz off pace for him here in round number 2 of qualifying in open e-buggy.
These guys absolutely ripping. So fun to watch these pros come out here and just string them together lap after lap. And the driving style, I mean, absolutely on par, apexing every turn, shortening up this track as much as absolutely possible.
Well, and as we've kind of mentioned earlier as well, something to think about with some of these top pro drivers that are already in the invite class. They're also not only, I mean, they want to come out here and win this race, don't get me wrong, but they're using this electric class for some track time and probably to experiment with some setup options on their cars and stuff. So, for instance, perhaps maybe Ryan Lutz changed something on this e-buggy to see if it would work on the nitro buggy. Maybe he's not happy with it, and that's why he's in the back of the pack here in this one.
Never hurts to have that second car and all of that seat time. Keep an eye on the track, how it's developing. A little bit wide right there on that landing. That is Fuller out front. Doing a great job here, still atop the group on a 23-lap pace, 8:05.8.
Yeah, Pavidis right now only 0.6 of a second back from him, 45 seconds to go. Good look there. The Tekin track cam as you land from that big back double and onto the back straight.
And this is what the pros do. I mean, the top 5, the top 4 have not changed here. They just keep ripping the laps off. Ty Tessman still P5.
Fuller making his way past Spencer Rivkin there. Rivkin having a rough run here in this one as well, sitting in number 8 spot. Back into the infield they go. Mason Fuller was your TQ in round 1 for Open E-Buggy. Can he do it again here in round number 2?
Trying to get it done. Has a great day working. The clock winding down. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Any laps that have been started will be completed here, and looks like he might have squeezed past the loop. See what Fuller does here. Look at him breathing.
He's going to get one more. You can see his heart beating out of his chest right there as he is on pins and needles here. This final lap comes down the straightaway. Wow. He's going to cross the line there. That should do it for Mason Fuller. He is done with a 23.804. He has done it again.
And looked like something in the right eye as well. He immediately reached up there to get some dirt or dust. It's breezy out there. It's very dusty here. A lot of dirt flying around. I ended up with dirt in my eye yesterday as well, and had it on the way home. My eye was killing me, so I could see these guys dealing with some of those elements out there as well. But awesome job there from Mason Fuller. Definitely on point here today.
Could have been a fly.
Could have been a fly. Could have been a fly. Yep.
So Mason Fuller taking it once again, 23.804, your top qualifier in Open E-Buggy here for round 2. Ryan Pavitas, a fantastic run there, coming into the number 2 spot with a 23.806. Seth Van Dalen third, Jared Wiggins fourth, Ryan Mayfield rounding out your top 5. Of course, Jared Tebow, we talked about, finishing up 6th. Cole Ogden, Spencer Rivkin, and Ryan Lutz.
Great group there. Great, awesome to watch these guys do what they do. By the way, Ryan Pavitas starting off, well, I guess it doesn't matter in the timed qualifiers as we go back and forth between timed and laps here with our invitationals. So the starting position not as critical. So once again, we'll go back down to Scotty, who has a very tough Mason Fuller.
All right, thanks, Ken. We're here. Mason Fuller right here, HBJ Concepts driver from Ermindale, Iowa. That was a good run. You had enough to go in front of Ty's time.
Yeah, I had a bit of a rough start. Had a few crashes and bobbles, but everyone was really wrecking out there. So last half of the race, I just tried to keep it clean, and it was a super close race. We were all half a second apart for basically the whole race. So, yeah, that was awesome.
When you have a rough start like that, there's a lot of folks that are going to be watching this that, don't know what you guys go through. How do you reset? What do you say to yourself to try to refocus?
Yeah, you really just got to forget about it. And, I mean, you can't really go any faster than what we're going, so you just got to keep calm and run the same laps.
Our Ken and Mike have been talking about it in the earlier that it's a whole family thing for you. Your brother, your mom and dad are here. You guys been doing that for years.
Yeah, all the family's here. We all try and work together. Mom gets food, dad's wrenching all the time. And so, yeah, it's been fun.
Well, good luck. Great run, and good luck for the best of the week.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Mason Fuller, a solid run. Family affair for the Fullers. As you said, the whole family is here. Each and every race, they share it together. It's a great side of this hobby.
Yeah, we'll see if he can put it all together here in that third and final qualifying round. He is definitely off to a great start here today in E-Buggy, winning the overall in Q1 and Q2. So we'll take a quick break here one more time. We'll come back. The sportsmen are ready to put on a show. Stay with us. And that was a good look at some of the action that goes on here at Mid-America Outdoors. There's a look at, I believe, some of the side-by-sides, or maybe the rock crawlers, the U4s that are out here also having some fun. Scott Rain and the gang over there calling some of that action. Saw the restaurant, saw the bar, saw the band out there playing. This place is a blast.
Yeah, not to mention hundreds and hundreds of acres of trails and tracks to play on. It's a wild place, that's for sure. Definitely worth a visit.
Up next will be the Sportsman e-buggy category.
Coming up in this one, we got Dylan Bontrager, Brian Johnson, Kenneth Drake, Taylor Janda, Billy Womack, Peyton Lamb, and Steve Collins for our Sportsman division. Our second round of qualifying here for these drivers as well.
Again, the cars exactly like we just saw a couple of moments ago, just beginning their careers here in the RC ranks. We wish them the best of luck. They do give us a lot of entertainment here in the Sportsman division. We love watching them, develop their skills. Certainly not the first one to do that. How about that, clearing the step up?
There we go.
Awesome.
Showing the pro guys right there how it's done.
It can be done.
Yeah, Dylan taking our round one top qualifier position, and as he had mentioned to Scotty in that interview, he's only been running the 8-scale cars for only 3 months, and here he is at the Visions race and having a fantastic time, and he finds himself the winner of round one of qualifying. We'll see if he can do it again here in round two.
Just tagged the top of the step up there with the rear tires and flipped it up and over. Get a corner worker over there to help him out. And one checking up there on the front straightaway as they get their practice time in. Keep in mind this is, once again, an electric category, so they don't want to burn up everything out of that battery. And now the clock is ticking. It's for real.
We're off and underway here. I do believe this is Dylan Bontrager out front. Oh, boy. A tumble early on here in this one for Dylan. Let everybody get a few laps in here. We'll see how they sort themselves out here for Sportsman e-buggy. Round two of qualifying. Only one heat for Sportsman e-buggy. And, of course, coming up next after this, going to be our Pro Invite Nitro Buggy. Round two of qualifying for them as well.
Yeah, exciting as well to watch that round two for the Invitational class. That is a straight-up race, 30-lap race. So the format a little bit different than what we're watching here based on time. Dylan Bontrager here is who we're keeping an eye on, so good call there, Mike, as you had mentioned that before. Nice job there in that first session.
Yeah, Dylan had a great round and great run in round number one. Right now he is sitting in that number 3 spot. We're only 2 laps into this one, but Kenneth Drake going to be out front leading the way here. Bontrager, though, now up into the number 2 spot, driving the Techno Buggy. I saw Dylan and a few of the other guys running some Techno cars earlier over talking to Jared Tebow and Jared Wiggins with the Techno RC guys, and that's another huge cool aspect of the RC community is everybody's competition, but at the same time, everybody is very easily accessible, especially in the pits and stuff. It's not closed off like some other forms of motorsports, and a lot of these pro drivers, they are more than willing to help like these sportsman drivers. So if they're struggling with a car and say like Dylan here driving a Techno car goes up to Jared Tebow or Jared Wiggins driving a Techno car and has some questions, those guys are more than happy to help them out and point them in the right direction, which you can't always find in the world of motorsports. But in RC racing, it's a pretty common thing for the pro guys to help these sportsman drivers out.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, and we haven't talked about it too much today. I know we touched on it yesterday, but if somebody's interested in getting into this game, there's no age limits. If you can drive one, you can pretty much come out here and have some fun. You can get into the game for a couple of $100. You don't have to throw thousands and thousands at it. If you want to be up there with the players, it'll take you some seat time. You're going to have some parts and pieces as we watch this replay here, and it looks like it's going to tag both of those cars, unfortunately. But you can get out here and have some fun and not break the bank and have some cars for the entire family to do so.
Absolutely, and there's so many different forms of RC, not just the off-road 8-scale racing. We got the 10-scale racing, rock crawlers, short course trucks, monster trucks, everything from bashing around in your backyard to racing on the track. And on the track, speaking of that, is Dylan is out front. He got caught up there in some mix-ups and spun out there coming onto the front straight, but he's trying to get it back together right now. He's still out front, though, by 0.2 of a second over Kenneth Drake. Billy Womack. Billy putting in a good run here in this one, trying to work his way up into the mix. Peyton Lamb in the number 4 spot, Brian Johnson in the 5, Steve Collins in the 6. Taylor Jandig able to get out there. He was the last one to get checked in, but he's out there.
Boy, the power in those electric cars, man, when they pull the trigger, those things absolutely launch. Unfortunately, a lot of traffic out there in front of him, and not all of them on their wheels.
Yeah, Dylan Rudd working his way there best he can through traffic as he heads onto the backside of the track, up and over the big back double. Down that side straight on the right side, coming back around to the front right from the driver's stand. 22.8 fast lap on the track right now for Dylan. Your race leader on a 20 and an 8.14. He's the only driver right now on a 20-lap run. And check that out already. With 4 minutes in, 4 to go, we're at the halfway mark. He is 9 seconds ahead of Billy Womack in second. So I tell you what, Dylan, new to 8-scale, doing a fantastic job here this weekend.
Yeah, Kenneth Drake looks like he's put together a decent lap as well at a 23.0. He's got to string together a few of them. He's a little bit deeper in the field down there in 4th place, but if he could keep putting some times on the board like that, could bump his way back up towards the top. Just a couple of tenths off of Dylan's quick lap time. Peyton Lamb, as we take a look at Peyton, currently sitting P3 inside of the group on a 19-lap pace, 8:11. And just a handful of seconds out of second.
I could be wrong, but I believe Peyton there in those warm-up laps may have been the one to jump that step up. So he's got that up his sleeve if he needs to use it either today or tomorrow. He trying to jump the step up and downside it into the corner. If you can make it, it's definitely a fast line, but it's a risky one, that's for sure.
Speaking of the step up, there's a good look at it from that angle. We've seen it from a couple different ways.
Ooh. Good save right there. Pipe up on 2 wheels. Oh,
50-52 grind.
And he's got the race leader coming up behind him there. That's going to be Dylan Bontrager. Right there behind him there. Both those drivers driving the Techno RC buggies. Oh, one upside down.
And I think that went in Dylan's favor right there for some clean track.
Absolutely. You never want to wish bad luck on the competition, but when something like that happens, you can take a breath of fresh air and smile just a little bit. Okay, well, he's got some making up to do, so that gives me a little room.
Yeah, you breathe easy for a moment.
Yep.
And once again, following Dylan there, and you can see a good look at Dylan over there as well underneath the live timing and scoring. Well, it almost looked like Fuller's car that was out there behind him. Same colors.
Fuller sneaking back out there.
Yes, he gets some more time. Don't think he needs to play with the sportsmen.
I was going to say, he tops the open class, and now he's going to go back out there with the sportsman class. Well, Scotty interviewed Dylan earlier on, and pretty cool to hear that Dylan comes from the big car world, a drag racer, and stepped into the RC world and is now making some success here at the Visions race this weekend. He looks like, as of right now, unless something major happens for him, minute 10 to go, he looks like he's going to top the field again here for Sportsman E-Buggy in qualifying number 2.
How about that? He'll spend less money on the weekend than he would have on fuel for the drag car.
That is very true. That is very true. It's funny because if you're in the RC world long enough, you start thinking to yourself how much things it costs and how much money you put into RC racing. But in the grand scheme of motorsports and racing, RC racing is a very affordable way to get the thrills of racing. That's for sure.
Yeah, no question about it. Couldn't agree more. And really, and to think that you're running the same cars that the pros are running, it's super cool. You don't have to spend a ton of money to get something that they're competing with.
Yeah, there's not a lot of forms of motorsport. You can't go out and buy the same F1 car that Lewis Hamilton's running.
Probably not.
Oh, and your race leader goes upside down.
Could have hurt himself here pretty badly. 13 seconds yet to go inside of this session.
Oh, no.
We'll see if that changes things up. Billy Womack was in second. Billy Womack just falls to third, though. Drake, and I talked about Drake running a lap time that was just a couple of tenths of a second off of Dylan. He steps up into second, so he kept working for sure. Looks like Dylan might hang on here, though, to be quickest in this second round.
Yeah, there goes Dylan crossing the line there. A 20 and an 8:14. We'll see what Drake's got. And just missed the 20-lap run with a 19.801. So Dylan's going to get it again.
How about that? Even after flipping that thing over, landing on his lid, counting on a corner worker to save him.
So Dylan going to take it there. Looks like Kenneth Drake in that number 2 spot. Billy Womack taking third. Peyton Lamb fourth. Brian Johnson fifth. Taylor Janda into the 6th spot. And Steve Collins rounding out your top 7 here in Sportsman E-Buggy.
Yeah, good on Kenneth Drake for sure. Just kept working. He was a little bit deeper down in the field, but kept working hard and finds himself up into second. Well, down with our winner once again. Let's go to Scotty.
805, Lamb will get 4, Johnson 5, Janda 6, and Collins 7. I need all 7
up,
of those
buddy.
drivers right back.
All right, we're here with Dylan. 2 TQs. That is the way to start your run here at Visions, man. Great job.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Just trying to avoid the crashes and take it slow and steady. Try not to make any mistakes, and it seems to be working so far.
You've only been racing now a few months in the 8 scale. Did you ever think you'd be at, the top of the class here when you decided to come to the race?
No, not at all. I had no real expectations since this is my first big race. So just kind of going to come out and see all the fast guys and try to learn something. And it's turning out pretty good and having a lot of fun doing it.
Well, that's the key, having fun. Best of luck here the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
All right, Dylan. What more you can say? You come out and it was just fantastic, man. Well done for Dylan.
Yeah, back-to-back TQs. That's a nice effort here at what is apparently his first major event here. So congrats to him on that. And best of luck in that third and final session as well. Well, the big boys are going to come out here and play on a 30-lap Q2. We'll turn them loose here in just a couple of moments. Look forward to that one for sure. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick commercial break here, and we'll be right back to get them lined up.
This is the ProTech RC LS5. It's a 5-port long-stroke .21 nitro engine, perfect for buggies and great for truck. It features everything you'd expect, like an easy-to-tune, heat-resistant carburetor, turbo plug, large cooling head, and explosive power, all at a price point that blows away the competition. When you need unbelievable torque and gallon after gallon reliability, head on over to MAO Hobbies and pick up the ProTech LS5.
And we welcome you back to Mid-America Outdoors. We're in Jay, Oklahoma, just outside of Tulsa, the RC Racing at Visions Off-Road. And, of course, it's presented by MAO Hobbies. Ken Stout, Mike Garrison, Scotty Ernst calling all the action for you. And the big players are about to line back up here for their second qualifier, the Invitational class. And they'll have a couple more people that will join them here in this Q2, if you will, that have come out of the open category, have been able to bump up. Congratulations to them. We'll talk about them in just a moment. But in the meantime, we had a chance to sit down with the wizard, Jared Wiggins. Get to meet him up close and personal.
Hi, I'm Jared Wiggins, and I'm from Dallas, Texas. I would say what motivates me is the competitiveness. The sport's ever-changing. There's so many good drivers and so many people that can win the race. There's not like, you don't really ever get stuck somewhere. There's always progress to be made, things to figure out, and ultimately people to try and beat. So that kind of constant progression is really exciting and keeps you working hard and into it. Because when you get into it, you're just doing it for fun and just enjoying it, racing your RC car. But being able to do this as a job now, it's definitely changed because there's a little bit more stress involved. You want to do well, you need to do well. You have to represent your sponsors well, be professional, and really enjoy that part of it. So there's a little more stress, but it's welcome stress, and it's always a good time at the track. Still enjoying it, still like driving, always excited for the next race. I try not to take too many new things to a race because unless it's really tested over and over, you never know quite how stuff's going to feel and drive, and you need your stuff to be comfortable and confident racing at a high level. So we try not to do anything new for the races if we can avoid it and just stick with the tested and true. I think it means a lot to the RC community just to try and get new people in, especially since the motorsports going on in the event. Besides RC, there's a lot of crossover with people who get into RC that usually have some sort of motocross or other racing background. And I think just giving them the extra step of exposure where they can see what's going on and see how cool it is, I think that's really going to help the industry in general and should be really successful.
And that is the wizard, Jared Wiggins, out of Mesquite, Texas. Techno driver, has been picking his way at it, getting better and better and better over the course of time. So we wish him the best of luck as he'll be out here in this second queue for the invitational drivers. And we'll pop a board up here for you and get a little close. I said Mesquite, Raymore, Texas, right there close. So good look there at Jared Wiggins. We wish him the best of luck out here. Tough player.
Yeah, absolutely. Jared Wiggins, he's a smart driver, but he's also smart off the track as well. He knows setup just as well as anybody, if not better than a lot of these drivers, and that plays a big part into it, especially setting up for a track like this.
And another guy that we need to talk about is this cat. Ryan Mayfield came out here, did a great job, started, I believe, in 6th place, if I'm not mistaken, in Q number 1 for the invitational category, and ended up on top. He won this one out of Chandler, Arizona. The world champion comes in here ranked number 1. So doing exactly what we expect him to do. And I loved what he said in the interview afterwards, which was, I wasn't working on total speed one day ago. I was working on racing some of the other competitors, getting the car comfortable with what I wanted it to do, and it certainly paid off. He was all but mistake-free there in that first session and really kind of let it come back to him.
Yeah, Ryan is he's a fierce competitor, that's for sure. And I got a feeling we're going to see him right up there in the front again here in this one. In this one, he's going to be starting a little further down in the field, and it'll be interesting to see how it works out for him. However, starting 11th for Ryan Mayfield, he's a trooper, so he'll come right back and he'll be in the mix of everything. Fee Long Win is going to be looks like maybe starting first in this one, which is our bump up driver out of the open class, our first qualifier winner. And of course, added to this one is going to be Tyler Hooks. Tyler Hooks, the other bump driver, grabbing $1,000 out of Q2, and here he is in Q2 for the invite class.
Yeah, and we touch on this for Q number 1 here for this particular class. The way they determine the starting position, they want to be as fair as possible to everybody here, give everybody a chance to be in the front of the field. So they drew a letter, and the letter gave you all 3 of your starting positions and the 3 qualifying rounds. And then, of course, how you finish in Q1 is how you'll start A Main 1. How you finish in Q2 is how you'll start A Main 2, and subsequently the same for the 3rd qualifier and A Main. Of course, the 3 A Mains will happen tomorrow.
Another thing to think about, too, is each round for these guys, they're gaining 1 more driver. So round 1, they started out with 11, or initially they started out with 11 drivers. Round 1 then saw 12 because they added Fee Long in there. Now we've got round 2. We're adding another driver, Tyler Hooks. And then round 3, we'll add another driver out of that open buggy class. And then, of course, on top of all of that, for the main events tomorrow, we'll add 1 more driver out of the open class for a total of 15 cars for tomorrow's main events.
So a lot of money on the line as we touch base on that. It's certainly worthy of talking about once again. Each main tomorrow pays $1,500 to the winner. If you win the overall, which is whoever has the lowest score, so the best average, if you will receive $5,000. If you're able to sweep and win all 3, it's a bonus $5,000. So $14,500 up for grabs for those bumping up out of the open class. They've already received $1,000, so 2 of them now have a chance to leave here with a total of $15,500 if they can sweep this very difficult class from for all 3 A mains tomorrow. And once again, we take a look at the ladies that are down there, the mechanics who showed the boys up there in Q1.
I tell you what, we were looking at the pit stop times out of Q1, and Katie and Maddie both had the fastest pit stops out of any of the mechanics out there. They were the only ones to get down in the 5-second lap range, and that's pretty impressive right there. That just goes to show how hard these ladies are working for both Jared and Seth Van Dalen.
And hand signals there and indicating to the drivers and the mechanics that we are ready to get this thing going. Set them down. Boom, we're off.
Off and running here. A good clean start here for these drivers. Lap number 1, Fee Long Win going to be leading us out. Oh, early on, though, Ryan Pavitas tries to put a wheel in on it.
Fee Long Win actually gathers it back up. Now you can see they hit that 180. They surpassed that the first lap there to keep everybody single file there and not bunch them up. A small mistake there out of Fee Long Win. Oh, and right back underneath Pavitas, and Pavitas with some contact back there as well with Von Dahlen.
Here they come back around the Tegan track cam as they come onto the back straight here. Oh, carnage right there, right in front of the camera. That was going to be Ty Tessman. Tessman tumbling his way back onto his wheels. Fee Long Win back to the front here in this one.
And Fee Long all over the place, man. But he's hanging on so far. Hats off to the young man. We didn't mention, I mean, what is he? He's 8 years old, I believe. So out here with the absolute best in the world.
Yeah, Fee shows up with the intention. He enters in the open class, bumps out of the first round into the invite class. Now he's leading these guys here. That's got to be a pretty special feeling for such a young up-and-coming driver.
Yeah, make him feel good. At least he's worthy, right, of being out here with the group, and now has a little bit of breathing distance. And maybe his nerves can settle down, get into a rhythm here. Who knows? I mean, stretch this thing out just a little bit. We're only 4 laps into this one, but if he can get rid of those nerves, and we know those opening laps are the absolute worst, so he's gotten past those now and has some breathing room. We'll see if he can string one together here, end up with a good finish.
Yeah, Fee's doing a fantastic job. We got Ryan Pavitas right there behind him, the number 2 spot. Look at the gap for first. Oh, boy, trouble there. Pavitas now going to take over the number 1 spot. First and second have really put a gap on third here at this point. And that's going to change things up as we head into tomorrow's mains as these young guns trying to run away here in Q number 2.
Yeah, Fee Long Win just needs to settle down. He does. He has some room back there to third place. Just settle in here, start doing what he does. Pavitas stretching it out just a bit, but you see that big gap between second and third. as Jared Tebow has picked his way from 10th into 3rd already. What a nice move.
Look at that. The veterans here in this class, the 10, 11, and 12 starting spots of Tebow, Mayfield, and Lutz all jumping up into the top 5 now.
And how about that Wynn back out in front after Pavitas made a mistake, and then Wynn makes a mistake, but Wynn stretches it right back out.
Here comes Jared Tebow now. Look at the inside line on Ryan Pavitas. He's going to dive to the inside. Watch right here as they head into the step-up section. Tebow, a very strategic driver. He'll push hard, not bump him, but he'll push him as hard as he possibly can. He's got Ryan Mayfield right behind him. Those two longtime competitors on the track, good friends off the track as well. Here they come. Oh, no! Jared Tebow hitting the back wall. Tebow goes tumbling. Ryan Mayfield now up into the number 3 spot.
And Pavitas passes Wynn once again to take over the lead. Wynn right back underneath him for just a brief moment. Oh! And they get together.
Unbelievable right there as Wynn and Pavitas get tangled up. Ryan Mayfield goes right on by. Now Mayfield makes a mistake. Here comes Ryan Lutz. Ryan Lutz chasing him down in the number 2 spot now here in this one.
Jared Mayfield trying to gather it back up there.
Yeah, this is it. I tell you what, this is just a glimpse of what we're going to see tomorrow. Check this out. Instant replay. Watch this. Mayfield dives to the inside. First and second. Tangled themselves up. Mayfield goes by. Lutz goes by. Wiggins goes by.
And Mayfield takes the lead.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And then Mayfield overjumps and ends up inside of the tube. Somehow gathers it back up. So Mayfield remains out in front now. He was the winner of Q number 1, followed up by Ryan Lutz and Jared Wiggins. Ryan Pavitas gathering things back up, and then Pheelong Wynn rounds out your top 5 for now.
Well, the Wiley Vets here back to the front here in this one. Ryan Mayfield out front. Ryan Lutz in the number 2 spot. Jared Wiggins in 3rd. Ryan Pavitas in 4th. And look at Ryan Lutz now. Lutz trying to make the move on Mayfield.
Underneath him. And how about that? Lutz gets it done.
And Mayfield right there, that's the professional driving right there. You saw Mayfield, he knew Lutz had the line. He wasn't willing to risk crashing both of them to take it away from him. He left the door open, Lutz moved in, and he let him have it there. And now Mayfield's just got to regroup, come back and try to make a move back on Lutz. But I tell you what, Ryan Lutz making that Kyosho look good out front.
Ryan Lutz, a solid player here as well, as we've talked about him before. And ranked 28th coming in here, 11 events so far this year. 3 top 5s, 6 top 10s. Did get on the podium one time earlier this year, so we wish him the best of luck here. Second at the DNC in Pro Electric Buggy, so, I mean, a big one to get on the podium.
Yeah, and I tell you what, check this out. Ryan Mayfield, he's got his hands full coming up behind him now. We got Jared Wiggins, Jared Tebow, the 2 Techno teammates. Then we've got the HB Racing crew of Fuller, Ogden, and Pavitas right there behind him. It is anybody's race at this point. Everybody right now still on that same lap as Ryan Lutz leads us out here. Lutz starting to work his way into some lap traffic, it looks like. Lutz in the pink, white, and blue Kyosho car.
3 guys in the top 4 starting in 10th place or deeper. Ryan Lutz starting off in 12th, leading this event. Mayfield starting 11th. And Mayfield just gets passed right here by Wiggins. Tebow starting off in 10th has worked his way into the top 5.
Jared Wiggins now up into that number 2 spot. Wiggins, a little mistake there for him there. Jared Wiggins has had a phenomenal weekend here.
And Wiggins putting a little bit of gap in. You could see, man, a huge gap as Lutz is driving away from these guys, and Wiggins is going to come in right now. I thought he made a mistake, but clearly coming in to make a pit stop. As you talked about, the ladies doing a great job before. We'll see what he does here.
Oh, trouble there for Wiggins. He gets caught up with Tanner Denny. Denny checks back up. That did not mean to happen. Just a pure racing incident on that one. Denny letting him have that spot back, trying to get back rolling again for Wiggins. A good stop there for Katie as she grabbed that car quick, got him in and out of the pits there with a 6.1 second pit stop. We'll see how it all shakes down here. Lutz and Mayfield have not made their pit stops yet. 13 laps left to go in this race. Again, a 30-lap race here for these drivers in qualifying.
So interesting strategy, if you will. Based on time here, we're about 6.5 minutes in, so they brought Wiggins in just a tick early there, even though he was up into second place.
Yeah, they did, and I think they were probably hoping for a little more clear track when they came out of pit lane, and unfortunately, I think that kind of put him back in the
hornet's nest.
Yeah, back a bunch of cars there. Ryan Mayfield right there in front of Wiggins. Mayfield is not pitted yet. We got you can see pit lane there in the bottom cam. Mayfield may be coming in for fuel here the next couple of laps.
Nor our leader, right? I don't believe our leader did pit, absolutely. Ryan Lutz came in a great pit time as well, 5.8 seconds.
Wow, Ryan Mayfield came in that time by with a 5.035 pit stop. Mayfield's mechanic. Pat on the back there for whoever is fueling up there for Mayfield.
Did he get it full?
Yeah.
That's the
Those
next
are minor,
question, right?
minor details. Minor details.
We'll see if he makes it to the end.
Well, there you see.
There at Wiggins once again.
Yep, Jared Wiggins working his way around there, getting his past Tyler Hooks, I believe that was. And unfortunately, our early race leader, Phelon Wynn, he's out of this one.
And Wiggins, we talked about him coming in, then maybe a little different strategy, a little bit earlier than everybody else, but has cycled back up into second place. Mayfield in third, Ryan Lutz still out in front, Rivkin in fourth, and Tebow back there to round out the top five. Spencer Rivkin starting off in 13th, up into fourth position.
Yeah, it took Rivkin just a little bit longer.
Oh!
Oh, boy. Took Rivkin a little bit longer than it did for Mayfield to get up front, but now that he's up front, Rivkin, he is a national champion, and he is hunting down Ryan Mayfield right now, and he's going to dive to the inside. Oh, came up just a bit short there. They worked their way back around on the outside. I am really impressed. I got to tell you, though, Ryan Lutz, he's out to a 4.5-second lead right now here in this one, and Jared Wiggins in that number 2 spot. Fantastic runs for both of those drivers.
Yeah, just slaying them right there, and it looked like Jared Tebow was was really putting the pressure there on Rivkin as well. It's right up on the back wing, if you will.
Yeah, Rivkin dropping back just a bit from Mayfield, and Tebow right there to capitalize. 6 laps left to go here for these drivers. They head down the straight once again. Jared Tebow, the Techno RC driver.
Some 40 miles an hour, as you take a look at Tebow, some 40 miles an hour at the fastest point. Keep in mind, 8th scale here. If you were to, I guess, equate that to a full-size car, we're talking about 300-plus miles per hour. It's pretty amazing, right?
It's pretty wild to think about. It is pretty wild to think about. A lot going on with these cars in a very short amount of time. Everything moving very quickly here. As you can see, Rivkin now starting to close back up. Oh, Rivkin goes for the step up, makes a mistake. Here comes Tebow now. Jared Tebow back up into the number 3 spot now here and there, 4th spot here in this one. Oh,
Tebow runs into the back of him, tumbles it, and then gathers up Tessman as well, who was behind him. Tessman ended up on his lid.
Unfortunate turn of events here for these guys. Tebow coming out of that one with the better end of the deal. There's Tessman, there's Rivkin. 3 laps left to go here. Ryan Lutz looking for a race win. Jared Wiggins looking for his best finish so far with a number 2 spot. Ryan Mayfield 3rd right now. Jared Tebow in the 4th spot. Tessman in the 5.
Well, Pavitas, who was up there in the hunt, has fallen back into the field a bit.
Oh, there's that instant replay right there. Rivkin gets into the back of Tebow, spins out, catches up with Tanner Denny. Denny goes upside down. Looks like it caught up with, I believe, Ryan Pavitas back there behind him as well.
Exactly. I had said that was Tessman, but you're absolutely right, and that would explain why Pavitas fell back there so quickly. This one's shaping up nicely here. Ryan Lutz doing a great job.
Yeah, and he is on his final lap right now as they work their way around. Ryan Lutz on lap number 29, looking for that checkered flag here. Lutz, a big win if he can pull this off here in Q2. He crosses the line there, and Ryan Lutz has done, oh boy.
Some lap traffic right there in front of him.
Oh boy. That's Seth Van Dalen and Tyler Hooks getting tangled up together. Oh, Van Dalen.
And then they crashed again.
I feel a little frustration clear from the booth on that one.
Lutz able to dodge all of that was sitting there in front of him and put that one together. So congratulations to Ryan Lutz, Jared Wiggins, Ryan Mayfield, Jared Tebow, and Spencer Rivkin all in the top 5. And 4 of the top 5 all starting in the 10th position or deeper. Great run up through the field for those. Jared Wiggins starting off in 5th, ending up 2nd, but everybody else, or Ryan Lutz from the 12th position to win this thing.
Yeah, fantastic run there. Looks like a little bit of frustration from the Van Dalen camp there. Looked like maybe Tebow and Van Dalen had a few words there on the driver's stand following up on that one as Seth disappointed coming out off the stand there. But Ryan Lutz, a big winner there in that one.
Yeah, the tension's high. We'll have to get some rope out there and make a ring, get the gloves out, and let them sort it out a little bit, right? Okay, let's go to Scotty.
Ryan Lutz, that was a grueling race. Take us through it.
Well, starting in 12th, last run I started 10th. I got two short ends of the stick for the first 2 rounds, and last one I got up into 4th. And this one I just waited my time, picked off when people started crashing. A couple guys tangled here and there, and was able to keep moving to the front. Ran with Mayfield for a little bit, and then he made a mistake, and it was just my car was pretty easy to drive overall, and just was able to drive away.
What goes through your mind? Obviously, Mayfield, one of the best in the world. You've raced with him for years, but having him in your rearview mirror, that must be trembling a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, today what we're trying to do is give ourselves the best opportunity tomorrow to be up front, to be able to do good in those mains. And I mean, all those positions help. That morning practice this morning, I got to start on pole and just pulled away. Was able to do it from 12th that time, so that's encouraging. And I get to start first in the next one, I think. So hopefully it'll be good and be able to give myself 3 good starting positions tomorrow.
Have you changed much through the day from your good run this morning? And as you said, in practice, you were able to pull away to now?
Nitro buggy, I haven't. No, just same tires, pretty much same everything.
All right, well done. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Ryan Lutz running strong, getting a big win, as he said, from the 12th starting spot. So good for Ryan.
Solid effort, no doubt about that. And as he talked about before, getting you can still see the heated people up there. The drivers are hot up there on top of the driver's stand. It's tough, man. I mean, there's a lot of passion here.
There is.
A lot of money on the line.
And I tell you what makes that whole situation a little more awkward. They're both teammates on the Techno RC team, and now they got to go sit in the tent together at a 4x8 table next to each other. So I'd be curious to see how
Good
that
time.
all
Send
plays.
the camera over.
That's right. Exactly. No, a fantastic job for Ryan Lutz, and I did not realize he's going to be starting first in this next round. That's trouble for the competition. That's
he for sure had a great run there. By the way, quick lap was Cole Ogden of that particular race, 20.63. So we'll keep our eyes on him as well. But Ryan Lutz putting together a great string of laps there to bring home that win. All right. I believe we have a commercial break here, or we'll check in with the truck and let you know where we're going. So as anticipated, that will conclude our second round of qualifying. We have 1 round of qualifying yet to go here.
No matter what, it's never an easy event, and it never will be, and that's what makes King of the Hammers King of the Hammers. Tire choice is everything. I mean, to have a tire that's reliable and consistent and drives well out in the desert, but yet when we get to these crazy rock sections, still has grip and performs, and we can hit these sharp, jagged edge rocks and not have a problem, is what we need. And the Rockzilla is definitely our second to none when it comes to the UTV tires. And it just speaks traction. It's got big lugs hanging off the side. It's got big lugs down the side of the sidewall of the tire. If you're gonna look for something that makes traction and is gonna grip in rocks and dirt and everything, you look at a Rockzilla and go, man, that thing looks like it's gonna do the job right there.
And once again, we welcome you back here to Mid-America Outdoors. We will take a quick intermission here once again, about 30 minutes, give everybody a chance to take a breather here. Of course, we have 1 final round of qualifying yet to come here for today. So we'll bring all the players back, and we'll do it all one more time, and that will establish our fields for the A mains tomorrow. So enjoy yourselves here. Make sure you come back and join us here at Mid-America Outdoors. Once again, we'll take a 30-minute break, and we'll be back with the 3rd and final round of qualifying.